In the summer of 1863, the United States stood divided, torn asunder by the raging fires of secession. The Southern Confederacy, led by the formidable General Robert E. Lee, marched northward, carrying with them the hopes and dreams of rewriting the fate of a nation. Across the rolling hills and quiet towns, the North shuddered, gripped by uncertainty, knowing that a single battle could decide the future of not only their land, but the very soul of their country. Soldiers marched beneath the fluttering banner of the Confederacy, determined and resolute, while distant thunder echoed the heartbeats of a nation at war. As July arrived, the focus of both armies settled upon a small, unsuspecting town in Pennsylvania, Gettysburg. Here, the destinies of thousands would intertwine in a clash of steel, smoke, and will. On the first day, two massive armies collided on the outskirts of town. The air filled with the deafening boom of artillery and the relentless crackle of musket fire. Peaceful fields and gentle woods were transformed into a storm of chaos and destruction. Confederate forces pressed hard, driving Union defenders back through the streets and hills. The hope of Southern victory seemed tantalizingly close as Lee's men pushed forward, determined to seize the initiative and claim a decisive triumph. But with the dawn of the second day, the Union Army braced itself for the onslaught. They dug in, clinging to every ridge, every stone wall, every patch of ground. The fighting grew fiercer, the stakes higher. On a rocky hill known as Little Round Top, a handful of Union soldiers stood their ground against overwhelming odds. They fought with desperate courage, refusing to yield even as the earth beneath their feet was stained red with their blood. The hill became a fortress, a symbol of unbreakable resolve, and the federal flag continued to wave defiantly in the smoke-choked air. Across the battlefield, the struggle raged on, neither side willing to give an inch, both aware that the fate of the nation hung in the balance. The third and final day dawned under a heavy sky, filled with the anticipation of a gamble that would echo through history. General Lee, believing victory was within his grasp, ordered an audacious assault. Pickett's charge. 13,000 Confederate soldiers stepped forward, arrayed in lines that stretched across the fields. They faced a wall of Union artillery, cannons and rifles waiting in grim silence. The order was given, and the men surged forward, a living wave crashing against the storm of gunfire. Explosions tore through the ranks, bullets whistled past, and bodies fell in the tall grass, each step paid for in blood and courage. Yet the Union lines held. The defenders poured fire into the advancing ranks, refusing to be broken. The charge faltered, then shattered. Men fell by the thousands, the flags of the Confederacy slipping from their hands as they collapsed onto the field. Smoke drifted across the ground, and the cries of the wounded mingled with the silence of those who would never rise again. The assault had failed, and with it, the South's last best hope for victory on northern soil slipped away. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the battlefield at Gettysburg lay quiet, blanketed by the sorrow of over 50,000 casualties. The land was forever changed, scarred by the sacrifice and valor of those who fought there. The Confederacy's dream of dividing the nation died among the hills and fields, its legend forever entwined with the blood-soaked ground. Gettysburg was not merely a Union victory, it was the turning point, the moment when the tide shifted, opening the path for the North to preserve the Union. In the aftermath, the fields echoed with the memories of heroism and heartbreak. Families mourned, generals reflected, and a wounded nation began the slow process of healing. The legacy of Gettysburg resonated far beyond the boundaries of the town. It became a symbol of endurance, of the terrible cost of war, and of the unbreakable bonds that hold a country together. From the ashes of battle rose new hope. The Union, battered but unbowed, rallied behind their cause, inspired by the sacrifice of those who had stood firm at Little Round Top, who had charged into fire at Pickett's charge, who had refused to let the dream of a united nation die. President Abraham Lincoln would later come to Gettysburg, standing among the graves, to remind the country that the struggle was not only for territory, but for the very principles upon which America had been founded. Gettysburg stands as a testament to the human spirit, a place where ordinary men performed extraordinary deeds, where ideals were tested in the crucible of war, and where the idea of a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal was reaffirmed in blood and sacrifice. The battle's outcome shifted the momentum of the war, inspiring the North to persevere and ultimately leading to the defeat of the Confederacy. Yet, beyond the strategies and the statistics, Gettysburg is remembered for its stories. Stories of bravery and sacrifice, of leaders making fateful decisions, of soldiers forging bonds in the face of death, and of communities forever changed by the conflict. It is a place where history was written not just by generals and politicians, but by the thousands of individuals whose choices and actions shaped the future. As the years have passed, Gettysburg has become hallowed ground, a destination for those seeking to understand the cost of freedom and the meaning of unity. Its rolling hills and quiet woods invite reflection on the past, reminding each generation that the peace they enjoy was earned through the courage of those who came before. The story of Gettysburg is not only the story of a battle, it is the story of America itself. It is the story of division and reconciliation, of challenge and triumph, of ideals tested and ultimately reaffirmed. It is the story of a nation that refused to be torn apart, that endured unimaginable hardship to preserve its promise. In the end, Gettysburg gave birth to a new vision of America, one forged in suffering, strengthened by sacrifice, and determined to endure. The words spoken there still echo, that a government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Here, on this sacred ground, a nation was reborn, not perfect, but indivisible, tested by fire, but never broken, forever challenged, but never destroyed. Gettysburg remains a powerful reminder. America may face trials, but its spirit endures, united by the lessons and the legacy of those who fought beneath its flags.